Sometimes, if you're lucky, you meet someone who feels like a flower blooming in a forgotten patch of earth. Their energy, their joy, their wildness, it wakes something up inside of you. Makes you wonder what you could become if you let yourself. But what if chasing something new means leaving behind something safe? Tonight, we bring you a dreamy adaptation of Violets by Alice Dunbar-Nelson. Drift off with us, and maybe you'll dream of wildflowers. Layla sat on her couch in a warm puddle of yellow lamplight. A face mask dried on her skin like soft armor. She hummed softly, flipping the pages of a novel she wasn't really reading. Her bathrobe clung to her like a cocoon, and for now, she was cozy, alone, content. She relished these rare evenings of solitude, of slowness, where time stretched out and wrapped around her like steam from a mug of chamomile tea. The quiet buzz of her apartment was a balm, the hum of the refrigerator, the occasional creak of settling wood. Even her own breathing felt gentler. She let her eyes skim the page again, not absorbing a word. Her thoughts kept drifting. To Amira, that first letter, to Paul, to the life she thought she wanted, and the one quietly blossoming in the margins. Her skin tingled from the mask, from the warmth of the lamp, from the weight of wanting. It had been so long since she allowed herself to linger in that in-between space, between comfort and longing, between safety and risk. Her apartment smelled faintly of lavender and eucalyptus, her favorite scent combo for winding down. The air was just a touch cool from the cracked window, where the evening breeze rustled the curtains like a sigh. She liked moments like this, when the outside world felt held at bay. Paul wouldn't be over for another hour. They had been dating a few months, and he was nice, safe, solid. But something was missing. Some small, wild part of her remained untouched. Was that enough of a reason to break up with someone, especially when the relationship was open? Her eyes drifted to the flowers on her coffee table. Violets, pink carnations, a glossy evergreen sprig, and a few ghost white tuberoses, all tied together with a ribbon of baby blue mesh and a thick lock of dark hair. She read the card again. She'd already memorized every word. Violets, as you know, are my favorites. Sweet little blossoms with faces like daydreams. The carnations are yours, obviously. The evergreen is for lasting love. And the tuberoses, those remind me of the night we met. I had them pinned to my dress, remember? I included a piece of that dress, and the lock of hair you begged for. Press these to your lips and I'll be with you. Forever yours, Amira. Layla smiled so wide her face mask cracked. Layla always appreciated that Amira went out of her way to send flowers across state lines. It would be a lot easier to order them online or send them from a local florist. But that would go against everything Amira believed in. Amira hated the culture of convenience, how the internet normalized instant gratification and made everything too easy, too attainable. That was one of the things they bonded over when they first met, standing in the obnoxiously long bathroom line at the Bush. That and flowers. Layla had noticed her first. Tall, radiant, wearing a sheer dress scattered with real white flowers. She couldn't help herself. She reached out, brushing one with her fingertips. "You made this?" she asked, awe slipping into her voice. Amira turned, smiled. "I was bored," she shrugged, laughing. "Okay, Maybe I just love flowers too much. Same, Layla said quickly, though no one's ever given me flowers. Then, catching herself, I mean, I can buy myself flowers. Wow, did I just quote Miley Cyrus? They laughed. They kept laughing. They talked about art, capitalism, snail mail, Survivor. Their hands brushed once, twice. By the time they reached the front of the line, it felt like they'd known each other for years. When Layla gushed about loving real letters, Amira pulled out a prehistoric flip phone. "Texting kills the magic," she said. "I want to feel something." She pressed Layla's hand to her chest. "And here," she added, guiding it gently over Layla's heart. Layla's breath caught. "Where else do you want to feel it?" she asked, teasing. The bathroom door opened. A stranger walked out. Amira walked in, but held the door open. "Invitation." Layla followed. They kissed. Layla wrapped her arms around Amira's neck, rising under her toes, lips pressing urgently. Amira, tall and strong, lifted her with ease. Someone knocked, eventually. They broke apart, laughing. Layla picked a flower petal from Amira's hair. They walked into the night. Layla asked what part of town Amira lived in. That's when she learned Amira didn't. She was passing through, heading back to Oregon in the morning. Layla's stomach dropped. She started to ask for a number, then remembered the phone. Amira smiled, pulled out a pen and paper. "Write down your address," she said. Layla didn't hesitate. Layla rinsed off her mask and returned to the couch. She picked up the bouquet again, pressed it to her lips. "Forever yours." Since that night a year ago, Amira had sent letters and flowers, real ones. Wild arrangements, each more meaningful than the last. Carefully packed with handwritten notes, flower meanings and little tokens. Violets were always included. One letter was written entirely in purple ink, on handmade paper that smelled faintly of cedar. Another was a single sentence stretched across a dozen postcards, each one sent from a different roadside stop across the Pacific Northwest. Once, Amira enclosed a pressed four-leaf clover. Another time, a hand-drawn map of their neighborhood with tiny hearts marking all the places she wished she'd kissed Layla. Layla had once written back, asking, half joking, for a lock of hair. But Amira sent it, twisted gently around the same baby blue mesh from her dress. She used to count down the days to Paul's visits. Now she counted the weeks between Amira's letters. The buzzer rang. Paul. She opened the door. He smiled, kissed her cheek, shrugged off his coat. "You always have the best flowers," he said, nodding to the table. "Subscription service?" Layla smiled. "You could call it that." She placed the bouquet in a vase, facing west, toward Oregon. Some people give you comfort, some give you fire, and some, if you're lucky, give you violets. Layla's heart is pulled in two directions, but one thing's clear. Something is blooming, and something has to change. Thank you for listening to Hatch Classics Queer Romance. I'm Fightmaster. Sweet dreams.